Hi, welcome to Bruce's Garage. I'm Bruce, and this is my garage. Did you know that over 70% of consumers rely on YouTube reviews before they make a purchase? But are those reviews unbiased? Can you rely on those? Well, we're going to figure that out and talk about that today. So come on in the garage and let's have some fun. Well, thanks for joining me in the garage today, where we're going to talk about whether you can rely on YouTube reviews as being unbiased. How do you know who you can trust? Can you believe every review that's out there? I mean, did the YouTube reviewer receive the product for free? Were they paid to say something specific about a product? Did they feel an obligation to the vendor? Well, those are questions that we're going to try to answer, and I'm going to try to answer these from my perspective after my first year on YouTube and how I've worked with vendors to try to help you understand what's in my head, and for me, honestly, to critically look at and ask myself, am I being objective in my reviews? So why am I even interested in this topic? Recently, I had a potential viewer reach out and they asked me, they wanted to watch the video on the Viper chair that I did, the review of the Viper chair. And they asked if I received the Viper chair free. And I responded that, no, I wish I had. It was a $500 chair, but no, I didn't receive it for free. I bought it with my own money. And then I asked why. Why were they asking? And they said, well, I wasn't going to watch the video if you got that chair for free. And that got me thinking, if I had received the chair for free, would that mean I'm suddenly biased? And similarly, if I bought the chair with my own money as I did, does that mean I'm not biased? And so I wanted to dig into this a little bit and find out from you, the viewers, what you thought about YouTube reviews, what led you to believe they were biased or not, whether they were believable, did you trust what the reviewer had to say? And I honestly wanted to take a critical look at myself and ask myself, am I being objective? What obligations do I feel when I receive a free product? So I want to share those with you. So first, let me tell you a little bit about my experience in year one and how I've worked with vendors and how they've worked with me and how I think vendors often work with social media influencers. So the first thing is sometimes vendors will reach out to me and say, hey, we've got some products we'd like you to review. We've watched your channel. We like your channel. We think this is a good fit for you. Sometimes I've reached out to vendors because it's been a product that maybe they've just released that I would like to try. And so I've reached out proactively and said, hey, I am interested in reviewing one of your products. Here's my channel. Take a look, see if this is of interest to you. So it's worked both ways. And I've had some success and failures in both ways. So let's talk with scenario one. Vendor reaches out to me. What happens? They offer to send a product. The first thing I do is I look at that vendor and I look at the product. And when I say look at the vendor, I go to their website. Do I know this vendor? Is this a company that I've already bought products from? Or is it a company that I would potentially buy products from? If the answer is no, this either isn't a fit for my channel, so maybe it's a product that really doesn't fit what I'm trying to do in this channel, or it's a product from a company that I would not do business with for various reasons. And so I have turned down several vendors that have come to me and said, hey, we'd like to send you a product. Would you review it? And I'll give you one example of that. Is Giraffe Tools, and they wanted to send me their vacuum. I hadn't really heard great things about Giraffe. I have a vacuum. I'm not in the market for that. Yes, it does fit my channel. So a vacuum that you put in your garage does fit my channel. But since I already know, or I have a perception of that vendor, that is really not something I would buy. I wouldn't consider a product from Giraffe, that I don't think it's genuine for me to bring one of their products onto my channel and tell you to buy it. Because if I'm not even going to buy it based on the brand reputation, then why should I test it? And why should I even let you do that? There's other channels that are testing Giraffe products. So if you want to see it, it's not that I have any judgment about you buying it. You can buy whatever you want. But it's not genuine. It's not authentic for me to be talking about a product that I would never purchase. So that's number one. I have turned down some of those types of offers. Now, what happens when I get a product though? Because I've accepted several offers from vendors that have sent me products. Some, as I said, solicited, where I've asked them, and some unsolicited, where they've reached out to me and said, would you try our product? And so I have tried their products. And for the most part, I've done videos, but not always. So why don't I do a video on certain products? Well, number one, if I get a product and I use it, and overall my impression of that product is negative, so I really don't think this is a good product, doesn't fit at all for my use, then I will usually not do a video. Now, the reason I've chosen to do that is I don't really want to do a straight negative review. I don't think that does anybody any value. Number one, I think viewers, honestly, you might think you want to hear about, don't buy this product, but you're not going to watch much of a video. If the thumbnail says, don't buy this product, you might be curious, and so you might click on that. But then you hear me saying like, this product didn't work, you're going to go, okay, I know not to buy that product maybe. And you click and you go. That doesn't help me as a channel. Honestly, it also doesn't help that vendor. Now, I'm not here to help the vendor, but I'm also not here to hinder the vendor. And so to me, it doesn't do any service to just do a negative review. However, the obligation, so I do feel an obligation when a vendor sends me a product. That obligation I feel, though, is solely about reviewing the product and potentially doing a video. And when I review it, to make sure that I'm following the full instructions of that product, that I'm using it as the vendor recommends. And then if my experience is overall negative, then what I will do is provide that feedback directly to the vendor. And I always do that. Now, is that right or wrong? I don't know. You as the viewer have to decide if I should be doing videos. I think there's a lot of negative things on YouTube. I just chose not to. On the other hand, if I have both positives and negatives, then I will absolutely do a review, because honestly, I think any review that's 100% positive probably didn't think about some of the potential negatives, because I think every product has some downsides. And so I will often share both the pros and the cons. I'm going to be truthful. And so that's my commitment back to you as a viewer. And honestly, I'm not doing the vendor any service if I am biased. I just don't think that is valuable. But I do feel that obligation to a vendor, that I am willing to review a product and give them feedback. Now, before I ever accept a product from a vendor, the first thing I do, though, is I ask them, are you willing to abide by my ethics statement? And so I've got a link for that down here below, and it's on my website, and I send them a link. I said, I'd like you to please review my ethics statement and make sure that you agree to that. And if you agree to that, then yes, I'm willing to test your product. So essentially, it means that I'm going to say what I'm going to say. That's for me to decide. I'm not giving you any preview of my video. You're not telling me what to say in that video. And that's the extent of our obligation. And so if you give me a product, it doesn't even mean I'm going to do a video. As I said, there's times that I've gotten products and I didn't like, and I didn't do a video. So I don't often do a full product review, although I've done those. Most of my videos are really centered on how to use a product and then my experience with that product to help you have a good experience as well. So I want to go back to something I touched on earlier about the Viper chair and about whether I received that free or not. And again, remember I said, no, I bought that with my own money. Does that mean suddenly that I'm unbiased, that I'm completely objective because I bought something with my own money? I don't think so. I think that's a foolish perspective to say, well, if you didn't buy that with your own money, then you must be biased. Because that also means that if I bought it with my own money, I'm completely objective. And I'm going to show you why I don't believe that's true. Look at all this Milwaukee stuff in this garage, and I have multiple drawers of Milwaukee tools. Every single one I bought myself. Do I think I'm unbiased with Milwaukee? Do I think Milwaukee tools are the absolute best tools out there? No, I would tell you I'm biased with Milwaukee. I am brand loyal, clearly. I am not the best person to tell you everything and anything about Milwaukee tools, nor to say that they're the best for every type of user. So I don't think just because you buy a product yourself, you're completely unbiased. So I think you need to always be, as a consumer, I expect you to be somewhat skeptical of every review. That's okay. That's a good thing. To me, that's part of being a savvy consumer. Now, what else can you do when you're watching YouTube reviews to be a savvy consumer? I'd say number one thing is don't rely on a single source for the truth. You want to watch many different reviews. So when I bought products off of YouTube reviews, I have watched a lot of different videos to get a lot of different perspectives, even if they're all pointing in the same direction, which tells me that I think there's a greater chance that they're reliable. It also lets me hear different points of view. And I'll be honest with you, reviewers will spot different things within a product. Different points of view give you different pieces of information that I would say as a consumer, that was very valuable, that you would only get from watching both reviews. So I think getting multiple reviewers and reviewing those videos is a number one step to trying to get reliable information. Secondly, do you trust that person? Now, I know you only know that individual from watching their YouTube videos in all likelihood, but do they say everything's fantastic? As one of my viewers pointed out when I asked about, how do you know if something's biased or not? And someone said, well, if everything they view is the best, or they review is the best, then I'm skeptical. And I think that's fair. But I think, again, that's where multiple reviews of the same products from different YouTubers is a way to help validate the direction of a review and get different opinions. So I'm going to try to always give you the best and most thorough that I can do and to make it unbiased. So what else can you do to make sure that you're getting good information? Well, do they review a lot of different products from different brands? Do they disclose whether they got that information or that product free? And if they're not disclosing that, I kind of question that. But again, just because they disclose it doesn't mean they're biased or they're not biased either. I believe in disclosing that. You will always see in my videos at the beginning the YouTube disclaimer in the top left of your screen that says this is a sponsored or has a product placement video. And that little tag could also mean Obsessed Garage paid me $10,000 to do this review. But that same tag would go up if it was a completely sponsored video. So I'm going to try to even disclose more if that ever happens so that you know. Again, it doesn't mean it's a bad that you can't rely on any of the information. I think you have to look at it with maybe a different level of skepticism. So I think it's important for you to be skeptical and not cynical, but to be skeptical and say, is this guy telling me the truth or not? And only you can decide that. And again, as I said, my commitment to you is to follow my ethics statement. So again, I'll link that down here. Please make sure you just take a look at that. That is personally important to me. So integrity is a value that I hold very, very dear to me. And earning your trust and keeping your trust is extremely important to me. And so as one of my viewers said, trust is really hard to earn and it's so easy to lose. And that's a very true statement. I don't want to lose your trust if I have it. And if I don't have it, I'm going to do my best to earn it. But it's your choice, right? You choose who you want to trust, what reviews you want to trust, and what you don't. My goal, of course, is hopefully you find value from what I'm providing. Now, I want to share one final thought before we close. I had a viewer also say, if you have an affiliate link in your video or in your description of the video, then I don't think your reviews are going to be honest because you're going to gain sales off what you have to say. And so why would you say something negative? Wow, I thought that was another interesting perspective. And here's why I thought that was really interesting. Creating and producing videos for YouTube is a big endeavor. It requires time. It requires resources. There's a lot of, depending on how you do it, there's a lot of money involved. And so does that mean I shouldn't get anything in return? Like if you want to buy a product that I've recommended, I really appreciate and I'm grateful if you use the affiliate link. You don't have to. I mean, you don't have to do that. Nobody knows whether you did or didn't. You don't have to do that. And that's okay. That's your choice. But just because I have an affiliate link, just because I'm trying to recover just a teeny tiny bit of the thousands of dollars that I've spent on my own, my choice, to produce these videos, and the amount of time it takes me to produce these videos on my own, my choice, doesn't mean you owe me anything. But if you found those things helpful, when you use those affiliate links at no additional cost to you, I get a little bit in return. So that's what I have to say about YouTube reviews and whether they're biased or unbiased, or they always objective or always not objective. I'd love to hear in the comments what your thoughts are about not only my channel, but how you value YouTube reviews and how you determine what's really trustworthy and reliable or not. And I certainly appreciate you watching the video. I'd very much appreciate the thumbs up, appreciate a subscription. If you really enjoyed this video and want to see some of my other videos, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. And lastly, I'd love for you to watch some of my other product reviews and see what you think. Thanks for coming into the garage today. Remember, have fun in your garage.